Hello, it's Concord Wind. I already put up a video today, but when I was doing my devotion, I was like, I've got to share this with my audience. This is so good. This is really good. So pay attention. I'm going to be reading from my devotional. This is my most recent old phone. The phone before that is turned off and in a drawer. And I'm using, obviously, I'm using my new phone to record, obviously. So let's just get into it. All right. It has been said, he that follows to the end shall be saved. But is this easy to put into practice? It is not, and many who are hunted down and persecuted by the great red dragon become too timid and afraid to follow God. Why did they fall down? Because they lack genuine faith. Some people can accept the truth, pray to God, rely on God, and they stand firm in trials and tribulations, while others cannot follow to the end. At some point during trials and tribulations, they will fall, lose their testimony, and be unable to pick themselves up and carry on. All the things that arise each day, big or small, that can shake your resolution, occupy your heart, or restrict your ability to do your duty and your forward progress require diligent treatment. You should examine them carefully and seek the truth. These are all problems and must be solved as you experience. Some people become negative, complain, and quit their duties when they run into difficulties, and they are unable to crawl back to their feet after each setback. All these people are fools who do not love the truth, and they will not gain it with even a lifetime of faith. How could such fools follow to the end? If the same thing happens to you 10 times, but you gain nothing from it, then you are a mediocre, useless person. Astute people and those of true caliber who understand spiritual matters are seekers of the truth. Should something happen to them 10 times, then, in perhaps 8 of those cases, they would be able to gain some enlightenment, learn some lesson, understand some truth, and make some progress. When things befall a fool 10 times, one who does not understand spiritual matters, not once will it benefit their life, not once will it change them, and not once will it cause them to know their ugly face, in which case it is over for them. Each time something happens to them, they fall down, and each time they fall down, they need someone else to support them and coax them. Without support and coaxing, they cannot rise. If each time something happens, they are in danger of falling, and if each time they are in danger of being degraded, is this not the end for them? Are there any other grounds for such useless people to be saved? God's salvation of mankind is the salvation of those who love the truth, a salvation of the part of them with will and resolve, and the part of them that is their yearning for truth and righteousness in their hearts. A person's resolve is the part of them in their heart that yearns for righteousness, goodness, and truth, and is possessed of conscience. God saves this part of people, and through it he changes their corrupt disposition, so that they may understand and gain the truth, so that their corruption may be cleansed, and their life disposition may be transformed. If you do not have these things within you, you cannot be saved. If within you there is no love for the truth or aspiration for righteousness and light, if whenever you encounter evil you have neither the will to cast off evil things, nor the resolve to suffer hardship, if, moreover, your conscience is numb, if your faculty for receiving the truth is also benumbed, and you are unattuned to the truth and to events that arise, if you are undiscerning in all matters, and in face of whatever befalls you, you are unable to seek the truth to resolve problems, and are constantly negative, then there is no way for you to be saved. Such a person has nothing to recommend them, nothing that is worth God working on. Their conscience is numb, their mind is muddled, and they do not love the truth, nor yearn for righteousness deep in their heart. And no matter how clearly or transparently God speaks of the truth, they have not the slightest reaction. It is as if their heart is already dead. Are things not over for them? A person with a breath left in them may be saved by artificial respiration, but if they have already died and their soul is left, artificial respiration will do nothing. If when confronted with problems and difficulties, a person shrinks back and avoids them, they do not seek the truth at all, and they choose to be negative and slack in their work, then they are revealed for what they really are. Such people have no experience or testimony at all. They are just freeloaders, dead weight. They are useless in God's house, and they are utterly doomed. Only those who can seek the truth to solve problems are people of stature, and only they can stand firm in testimony. When you encounter problems and difficulties, you must face them with a cool head and react to them in the right way, and you must make a choice. You should learn to use the truth to solve problems. Whether the truths that you ordinarily understand are profound or shallow, you should make use of them. Truths are not merely words that come out of your mouth when something happens to you, nor are they used expressly to solve the problems of others. Instead, they are to be used to solve the problems and difficulties you have. This is what's most important. And only when you solve your own problems will you be able to solve those of others. Why is it said that Peter is a fruit? Because there are things of worth in him, things worth perfecting. He sought the truth in all things. I got a text, sorry. He sought the truth in all things, had resolve, and was firm of will. He had reason, was willing to suffer hardship, and loved the truth in his heart. He did not let go of what came to pass, and he was able to learn lessons from all things. These are all strong points. If you have none of these strong points, it means trouble. It will not be easy for you to gain the truth and be saved. If you don't know how to experience or don't have experience, you won't be able to solve other people's difficulties, because you are incapable of practicing and experiencing God's words, and have no idea what to do when things happen to you, and get upset, burst into tears when you encounter problems, and become negative and run away when you suffer some minor setback, and are forever incapable of reacting in the right way. Because of all this, it is not possible for you to enter life. How can you provide for others without life entry? To provide for people's lives, you must fellowship the truth clearly and be able to fellowship the principles of practice clearly in order to solve problems. For someone who has heart and spirit, you need only say a little and they'll get it. But only understanding a little of the truth will not do. They must also have the path and principles of practice. Only this will help them to practice the truth. Even when people understand spiritual things, and it only takes a few words for them to understand them, if they don't practice the truth, there will be no entry into life. If they can't accept the truth, then it's all over for them, and they will never be able to enter into the realities of the truth. You can hold some people's hand as you teach them, and they will seem to understand at the time, but as soon as you let go, they become confused again. This is not someone who understands spiritual matters. If no matter what problems you encounter, you are negative and weak, you have no testimony at all, and you don't cooperate with what you should do and what you should cooperate with, this proves that you do not have God in your heart, and you are not a person who loves the truth. Never mind how the work of the Holy Spirit moves people. Merely by experiencing God's work for many years, listening to so many truths, having a little conscience, and relying on self-restraint, people should at least be able to meet the minimum standards and not be rebuked by their consciences. People should not be as numb and weak as they are now, and it is simply unthinkable that they are in this state. Perhaps you have gone through the last few years and a days, not pursuing the truth whatsoever or making any progress at all. If this isn't the case, how could you still be so numb and dull? When you are this way, it is entirely due to your own foolishness and ignorance, and you cannot blame anyone else. The truth is not partial to certain people over others. If you don't accept the truth, and you don't seek the truth to solve problems, how can you change? Some people feel that their caliber is too low and that they lack the ability to receive, so they delimit themselves, and they feel that no matter how much they pursue, they will not be able to meet God's requirements. They think that no matter how hard they try, it's useless, and that's all there is to it. So they are always negative, and as a result, even after years of believing in God, they haven't gained any truth. If without doing the hard work to pursue the truth, you say that your caliber is too poor, you give up on yourself, and you always live in a negative state, and as a result, you don't understand the truth that you should understand, or practice the truth within your ability, then aren't you the one hindering yourself? If you always say that your caliber isn't good, isn't this evading and shirking responsibility? If you can suffer, pay a price, and gain the work of the Holy Spirit, then you will inevitably be able to understand some truths and enter into some realities. If you don't look to or rely on God and you give up on yourself without putting in any effort or paying a price and simply surrender, then you are useless and lack the slightest conscience and reason. No matter whether your caliber is poor or outstanding, if you have a bit of conscience and reason, you should properly complete what you ought to do in your mission. Being a deserter is a terrible thing and a betrayal of God. This is irredeemable. Pursuing the truth requires a firm will, and people who are too negative or weak will accomplish nothing. They will not be able to believe in God unto the end, and if they wish to obtain the truth and achieve a change in disposition, they have less hope still. Only those who are resolved and pursue the truth can obtain it and be perfected by God. Amen. Beautiful words. Beautiful words. So, do you know what path Peter walked? He walked the path of pursuing the truth like Job. Job pursued the truth. Peter pursued the truth. You know, these are ordinary people who are capable of accomplishing so much. They're able to accomplish submission to God without complaint against Him. And you may think, well, that was a long time ago. Now we've got so much technology. You know, there's so much entertainment with the internet, and there's so many temptations. It's much harder to pursue the truth in the modern age. Well, I've accomplished absolute submission to God without complaint against Him. I've accomplished this, and I live in the modern age. So it is possible. So don't give up, and don't think that you're not smart enough to understand things. Like, as long as you pursue the truth, as long as you practice the truth, you'll be fine. You just need some conscience and reason. You just have to love God, love the truth, love righteousness, love justice. You just have to love positive things. That's really all you need. As long as you love positive things, you're bound to practice the truth, right? And if you don't love positive things, you should pray to God and ask Him to make arrangements for you to show you that positive things are good and that you should love positive things. If you don't love positive things, you should have a desire to love positive things. You should want to love positive things. And God will show you that positive things are good and that they can bring you happiness. And He will show you that you should love those things. You should love peace. You should love justice. You should love righteousness. You should love God. You should love all good things. And when you love good things, you will practice the truth, because loving good things and practicing the truth go hand in hand. You can't practice the truth if you don't love the truth. And I love the truth. I love the truth with all my heart, so I practice the truth every day. I practice honesty, submission to God, accepting God's blessings, accepting what God takes away from me. He doesn't take as much away from me lately, but He used to take from me all the time. I spent 4 years with God taking things away from me. He took away my sanity as well. And, you know, I accepted it. I didn't accept it as well as I would at this point in my life, but I did accept it. And I had the wrong motivations, but God still worked on me. You know, I believed in God for a wife. I just wanted God to give me a wife, and that's why I believed. And I learned in 2022 that God's will is more important than my desires. And God's will is what will bring me happiness, not my own desires. And so my desire for a wife isn't what would bring me happiness, even if that desire was fulfilled. That's not what would bring me happiness. Not that my happiness is the goal, but it was at the time. And now I'm just happy as a byproduct of loving God and pursuing the truth. You know, so happiness is a byproduct. It's not the end goal, although it is important to God that people are happy. And I want to contribute to people's happiness. But it is a byproduct. You know, if you're not the happiest person in the world, but you can still stay positive in the midst of trials and tribulations, then that's a really good thing. And if you can pursue the truth amidst all that, while staying positive amidst trials and tribulations, I mean, that's a excellent thing. And that's precisely what I attempted to do for 4 years while I was in psychosis. I attempted to pursue the truth and practice the truth. And practicing the truth is so important. It's so important. You have to practice the truth. You really do. Without practice of the truth, you gain no entry into life, and you don't know the reality of God's words. You don't know the reality of our world. You can't discern people, events, and things. You can't learn from anything. You have to practice the truth to be able to learn and grow and become a good person, a better person, an improved person, a changed person. You have to achieve transformation in your disposition, a disposition being ideology, principles, and nature. We've talked about this a lot. So you need to change your ideology to conform to the truth. You need to change your principles to conform to the truth. And you need to change your nature to conform to the truth. Those are the 3 things you need to work on changing to conform to the truth. If you can conform to the truth, then practicing the truth will come naturally to you. And practicing the truth is the way you change your disposition. So it's like a cycle. You practice the truth to change your disposition. Your disposition changes from practicing the truth. And then once your disposition has changed, practicing the truth becomes naturally. It's a circle. So you have to get into that circle and live that life. And you will see progress. I guarantee it, because I've seen it in my life. I've got my testimony, part 1 and part 2, uploaded on my channel. You can watch that if you haven't seen it already. I'm a changed person, and I've even grown since I made those testimony videos. I've even grown since then. Growth is a lifelong journey, and I'm excited to see how I will grow in the future. I'm really excited to see how I'll grow in the future. Because I've already grown so much, and I just want to see myself grow even more. I want to become even closer to God, practice even more truth, and practice more truth like more devoutly and diligently, and have a better understanding of the truth too, because I'm constantly gaining new insights into the truth as I grow, and as time passes, my insights into the truth grow. I don't know why there's I don't know why that's doing that with the light. I guess it's the new phone. It's kind of weird. It's like it doesn't know what to do with the lighting in here or something. So it's trying to adjust, but then it's like, oh no, that's not right. And so it goes back, and then it's like, oh no, that's not right. So it tries to adjust. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, practice the truth, brothers and sisters, and your disposition will change. That's God's words. God says, practice the truth and your disposition will change. So don't give up. Don't get negative. Face every trial and every tribulation with a positive attitude. Be ready to learn from every situation. Be ready to grow and experience from every situation. Read the book of Job and learn from him. That's your assignment. Your assignment for today is to open up the Bible and read the book of Job. That's your assignment for this video. I know we talk about Job a lot on this channel, but you might gain some new insights reading the book of Job on your own. So that's the assignment I give you guys. Read the book of Job, learn from him, and know that when everything that he said, God did not condemn anything he said, so keep that in mind. Like, there's some things that he said that sound kind of weird and sound maybe even a little sinful, but nothing that he said was condemned by God, so keep that in mind. All right, that's it for the video. I hope you guys read the book of Job. It might take a couple days to read through all of it, and that's fine. You can even do a devotional with the book of Job. Like, there might even be a book of Job devotional app you can look up or something. But if you do that, don't read the commentary, don't read the narration, just read the verses, because a lot of people's understanding of the book of Job is very corrupt. I know there's people who say Job was a sinner and God said he wasn't, so they contradict God, and that's not right. So remember, God said Job was perfect and upright. Anybody who says differently, they don't believe in the perfection and uprightness of man. They don't believe in it. Just as Jesus said, the blood of righteous men will be spilled. That contradicts Paul's words, who said, for there are none righteous, no, not one. Paul was wrong, Jesus was right. Remember that. So, God bless you, and goodbye.